A group of friends parts ways at a college bar. Two of the young people walk off to a car in the parking lot. Taylor Wright, the young man, unlocks the stripped-down Hyundai and opens the door. "Sorry I have to go, babe," Taylor says. "I have a test in the morning, and if I fail another class, I think my dad will disown me." "It's fine," the young woman says, "but I'm not going to forget that you were the only one who didn't buy a round." With that playful dig, she leans in and kisses him goodnight and says, "I'll see you later, baby." Taylor's drive back to his apartment is not even 5 minutes. As he heads up the steps to the third floor, we can see the University of West Central Florida is just across the street. A buzzing sound begins to slowly swell as Taylor walks up to his apartment door. Taking his keys out, he feels something buzz by his ear. "Damn bugs," he says as he swats at the air. Another buzzing by his other ear makes him jerk his head to the side and further swat at the air, all the while the buzzing getting louder. Then he feels it, a bite or a sting that makes him whip himself around, his keys flying out of his hand. Taylor flails his arms and jerks his head, hoping to get these bugs away from him. He turns around again in the hope to get away, and he's bitten again, and pulls his body away from the pain and where the noise seems to come from. On the ground floor, we see Taylor drop onto the pavement. Blood pools from his body as a wasp crawls across his now crooked neck. On its wings, a death's head.
This American Monster. A Monster of the Week actual play from This American Dice.
Lurleen Delwoods worked at the Pancake Depot for 4.5 years. Other places that might not be too long, but seeing how the Pancake Depot has a rather high turnover, that's earned her a position as day manager. That means higher wage, plus, since she's still waiting tables, tips. Lurleen's been at it long enough to, even in the busiest shifts, only need a steady cook. Those two can pull in a lot more splitting tips as they do, and the GM can pat himself on the back for helping out a single mom and a reformed ex-con to get a new lease on life. Like any of the days in May for the last 4.5 years, Lurleen got herself to the Pancake Depot a few blocks away from the University of West Central Florida just as the sun was peeking out. Of all the Palmetto City locations, this one did good business. Real good business. The GM bought a new boat for himself kind of business. What with the college crew filling the place at night and the consistent nearby interstate and highway crowd coming in throughout the day. Lurleen even prided herself on having a good number of locals that came in near daily. She'd tried dating one or two of them, but that didn't work out for her business or personal life. Smoke breaks were supposed to take place behind the restaurant so customers didn't see. Given that Lurleen was the shift manager, she bent that rule, figuring it let her see when new folks was heading in. On this particular day, the Pancake Depot only had 2 customers. The one not in the can was a new fella who always dressed in a suit and had a lot of papers with him all the time. She would have thought he was a professor at the college, but he hung out with some weird folks, including, though not as much lately, a country musician she used to like, though recently she'd thought his big hit was getting played out. As Lurleen finished her cigarette, she saw the other folks that associated with the man in the suit. A college kid who struggled to lock his bike to the handicap parking sign, and a second young man with a scruffy neckbeard and weird hat, but a certain charm, who got out of a van driven by a middle-aged woman and, without even a nod to his friend, headed into the restaurant. Passing Lurleen, he tipped his hat, like they do in old-timey movies, and said, "M'lady." Lurleen put out her cigarette to get more coffee for the man with the papers and take the new kid's order. Darkblade, 69, aka Herbert Kmoch, proprietor of Wikipedia and knower of all conspiracies, enters the... this is also, since it's a new mystery, it's a good idea to introduce your characters kind of again the first time we see you on screen. First off, what's he wearing? How does he look?
He looks like a well-dressed gentleman, top hat, and he has a very thin but long neck beard. Um, may not be just a neck beard; it's kind of more than just the neck, but very prolific around the neck. And he's wearing mostly black. He's wearing a shirt that says, "Don't stare at me, or the darkness might stare back."
All right. So he's just wearing a t-shirt. Is he wearing like a t-shirt and jeans, or along with his top hat?
Oh, yeah. I'll say he's wearing some jeans. Yeah.
Okay. So we got and how old would you say he is roughly?
Oh, he's not a day over 29 years old.
All
his
right.
birthday.
And I believe you described him as today is his birthday?
Yes, it's his birthday.
Today is his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's getting almond pancakes, and he's letting them know it's his birthday.
Okay. And so maybe he says that as he sits down, like, "I'll have the almond pancakes. And by the way, it's my birthday today." And they're like, "Happy birthday, hon." You sit down. You had already seen Ashton outside locking up his bike. We see Mr. Welker, who appears to have been waiting there for some time. Maybe we see that he's already eaten his breakfast, perhaps, and already has like a cup of coffee that the waitress has to come over and kind of refill. To kind of give us the idea. She takes your plate away to give us the idea that you've been there for a bit. Maybe you've got a bunch of notes that you've written down.
Yeah, he's surrounded by like stacks of paperwork. He's got his company issued tablet on the table next to him, but he hasn't used it in a while. He's more of like he's an analog guy.
All right. How could we describe Mr. Welker physically?
Mr. Welker, physically unimposing, wears a thin gray suit. He has glasses on. He is a company man, a family man, and a decent man. And he is here to help.
All right. So Darkblade, when you arrive, you, like I said, you saw that Ashton was outside locking his bike up, but Sundry Charms is not here.
Please have a seat. I'll point to one of the two chairs at the table, as opposed to the usual three.
Oh, there we go.
Where's the movie star?
Oh, Mr. Charms won't be joining us for some time, I don't think. He contacted me to let me know that he's still recovering from our last adventure. I suppose getting shot point blank in the chest will do that to a person. But he assures me that he will recover, and he's eager to rejoin the company.
Do we have health insurance?
Of course. And he like has the paperwork for that, like under one of the stacks on his desk. And he like hands you like this pamphlet. You'll see here your health insurance plans, one of which I'm sure you've already chosen when you filled out the initial onboarding paperwork.
Ooh. I don't know how much of the weeds we want to get into with that. But yeah, I think you can give him some kind of like health insurance plan packet where you're like, here you go. So one of the things that I think is interesting, just that you bring that up, is, and it's a difference between Mr. Welker and Ashton and Darkblade and Sundry when he rejoins us, is that while Mr. Welker is definitely an employee of the Lore Corporation and Ashton is now an employee of the Lore Corporation, Darkblade and Sundry were essentially being hired through Mr. Welker.
Like contractors?
Exactly. And so, just because I don't want to actually think about insurance type stuff, the odds are you can give them this paperwork, but it's like to buy into some kind of insurance program that the company runs for contractors or something like that, or the company associates with contractors.
Oh, sure. Okay, so he'll like correct himself. Like, oh, of course, this would be once you come on full time, then this would be a part of the default package. You really should consider it, Mr. Blade. I know you're a bit of a lone wolf. You know, that's sort of your thing, but I hope you'll agree that working with us has been nothing but pleasant.
Well, it's been interesting.
A man like you lives for interesting.
That's for sure, but I don't exactly have a social security number.
Oh, we know your social. I mean, we could figure that out.
No, I deleted it from the internet, so I don't have shouldn't have a social anymore.
Oh, okay. And he's like looking at a paper and he like places it back in his briefcase.
Mhm.
Of course, Mr.
Okay.
White.
Yeah.
So this is when Ashton, I think, comes in and joins us amid this like awesome conversation of insurance benefits and whether or not Herbert Darkblade 69 Kmoch has a social security number anymore. I think we hear like the little bell ring over the door. And it's like an actual physical bell in an attempt to be kind of old, like charming.
There's like a boy holding a bell just whenever someone walks in.
Yeah, and he's like, "Now entering, Lord," and you tell him your name, and he cries it out, "Ashton of Greene," and you flip him a tuppence. Yeah, and he coughs, and he'll be like, "Soon the consumption will have me as they did my mom." Anyway, just kidding.
Is that true? Does he have health insurance?
Does that kid have health insurance? No, it's bad for a young London orphan like this boy. No, but so
Pancakes Depot benefit package.
Yeah, Pancake Depot. What Darkblade can tell you is there's a portal in the back of Pancake Depot where all their employees are Victorian England orphans that they bring in. Anyway, so when Ashton comes in, like I said, there's like a little bell up at the top of the door, so like you guys can see another person is coming in, and you clearly see Ashton. And as he makes his way to the table to join his colleagues, who is the man we see before us?
I feel on the way there, he like trips over his foot. He almost like topples over, but he catches himself. And he's wearing I guess like a brown suit. Oh, he just got a new suit last time, so it used to be ill-fitting. This one maybe a little bit better, but still not good looking. I have him if this televised movie he's played by Michael Cera, of course. He's in his like very early 20s, I think. It's awkward kind of down.
I think we have a flashback to that where we see Ashton talking with Regan. I imagine that this mystery is beginning after all of the character development stuff we had in that little intermission or interstitial thing that we did before. And so maybe Ashton had gone on another date with Regan. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that she talks about that she's been looking into is she'll tell you that like some weird stuff had happened on campus pretty recently. And she'll tell you that another werepanther, a weremole or werebunny had shown up. No, she basically says like another crazy thing happened at UWCF, so the University of West Central Florida. And she kind of tells you this stuff, and maybe you guys are at like a cafe, like full of students. There's like an open mic night going on. There's a guy who's real Jason Mrazed out, and he's playing guitar.
It's a hookah bar.
Yeah, it's a hookah bar. It's just Natura. Yeah, you're just at Natura. And I don't think that a place is around anymore, so I'm just going to call this place Natura. And so you're at Natura, and Regan kind of like lowers her tone, and she'll just tell you like apparently a student here he killed himself, and the weird thing was that he videotaped it and he put it online, and the school made like a big deal out of like taking it down, and made a lot of like they apparently made new policies that if anybody that basically you'll be suspended or expelled if people are found sharing this. And that happened a couple weeks ago. I think she'll say that happened. She'll say, yeah, that happened 2 weeks ago. This guy killed himself. And then the nuts thing is only a day or two ago, another kid died. Another boy died. He didn't kill himself. He fell off like a balcony, basically. But within just a few months, this is now the 4th UWCF student who's died. And these most recent ones are not quite as weird as the ones from before, with whatever it was that I saw out in the woods. But this is something. And so I think that's the flashback you have of like that's the information you'd gotten before from her of like something is up. And these
in that flashback, he's like, "Oh no," to the server or whatever. "I can't have that hookah. They're gonna drug test me. I can't do any drugs here, thanks. But I do plenty of them, Regan. Don't worry, I'm cool."
And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, I think she kind of shakes her head and she's like, "I guess then I'll cancel our next date to the meth house I work in part-time." Then we flash back to Ashton sitting down with Mr. Welker and Herbert Darkblade 69 Kmoch.
Glad you can make it, Mr. Greene. I was just telling Mr. Blade that Mr. Charms won't be joining us on account of his recent injuries, but he sends his regards. And how have you been? What's it like now that you are a member of perhaps the premier corporation in the United States, perhaps even the Western Hemisphere, and dare I say, the world?
Oh, well, Mr. Welker, it's really good to be the junior regional project manager. I mean, it's basically a dream come true. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. This is great, and I can afford anything here. It's amazing. And if the server's there, he's like, "Can I have a bloomin' onion, please?"
And then the lady's like, "Oh, honey, bloomin' onion, you're just being crazy. I can get you hash browns with onions in them."
Oh, place without bloomin' onions barely counts as a restaurant, but sure, I guess that's fine.
Oh, and I think she's like, she rolls her eyes. Just let me know which number you want on the menu when you're ready, honey.
Well, you may have the resources now, Mr. Greene, but some places just lack imagination. That's not your fault.
David, should we assume that the next thing would be Ashton maybe giving these guys kind of the heads up on these clues? Or actually, maybe that happened, or should we just say that happened off screen and you guys already know this information? Okay, because if it's something that had been discussed, it probably was on the news. Given that Herbert is very much a man kind of plugged into the online world, he probably already knows about some of that stuff. I can give you guys just some kind of general information that anyone kind of watching the news or just kind of being aware of their community would know.
I mean, I definitely think that multiple deaths in the university would show up in the lamestream media.
Oh, for sure. This is something that like the university's trying to play down, but at the same time they don't have that much influence.
Sure.
So I think you guys definitely know that 2 people have died in the last 2 weeks.
So here's a question. Our assignments, are they given to me, or am I just like, oh, that's weird, I choose to go look into it?
The latter.
Okay. So I'll say, so I'm sure you all know everything I do about this business at the college. I was just wondering, have either of you, maybe you, Mr. Blade, have you seen the footage that everyone keeps talking about with this poor, unfortunate student? Or you, Mr. Greene? You know, I know you have friends at the college.
I'll say that to actually find the footage might take a roll because it'll require like a little bit of digging.
Like
but,
YouTubing?
I think just some kind of digging. I don't think it'll be like crazy. It's something we can definitely find, but it might like have us activate the net friends aspect that Mr. Darkblade has.
Well, which one of you wants to give it a shot?
Can't say I've seen it. I'm not actually I'm not a sicko. Not into that whole gore porn kind of thing. So I could probably I mean, if the guy posted a suicide, there's definitely somebody who saw it and saved it, and then probably posted it on Twitter, and then probably reposted it on Instagram, maybe, Pornhub even.
Well, you should try pulling up the dark web browser, and because I've heard about that.
Okay, right now I'm on the dark web browser.
Like nod, like awesome. Let me know when you find it.
All right. Well, so the one thing that all of you do already know is that in the last 2 weeks, 2 people have died. One person, and again, you can just pull this up on just like a news article. A young man killed himself at the school. There had been like a video of him killing himself that was online, and the school worked with people to get that taken down. But the school is like interested in other information about this. The other thing is that, and this person's name is in the paper. A student named Taylor. A student named Taylor. And we can come up with a last name in a second.
Taylor Tailspin.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Wright.
Taylor Textiles.
Yeah, Taylor Wright. A student named Taylor Wright just recently fell off of essentially like a balcony. But
was it intentional?
Yeah, and then I think within the news, the newspaper reports, it's like police say investigators don't seem to think that it was intentional. It seems to have been some kind of accident. But still, within 2 weeks, 2 students at this university dying is kind of a bigger thing. It happened, I think, in nearby not campus housing, on campus housing, but in nearby apartments where students live. If that makes sense. So, you guys ready for the kicker as you're talking about this?
Kick me.
All right. All right. So as you're doing this on the news, because of course there's a TV playing local news. So we have ba-da-da-ba-dum.
Good evening. This is Shane Meridew with Channel 5 News. Tragedy has once again befallen the University of West Central Florida. A student, Olive Alexander, was hit by a car and passed away this morning in Palmetto City General Hospital. This terrible incident apparently occurred outside nearby student housing and is tragically the 3rd death of a student in under a month. Those included a suicide as well as a student falling to his death. This comes on the tail end of 2 other deaths of students nearby and even on campus. On the scene is Sharon McGill.
They kind of talk about it and they show you where on campus it was. And it's hi, I'm so-and-so, and this is where this happened. All of blah, blah, blah. And they have pictures of this young girl who's maybe around Ashton's age, very early 20s. And one of the interesting things that they bring up is they talk to a student and they were yeah, it's a real shame that those two that those two died. I mean, first the grief of us losing Taylor, and then Olive. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I mean, maybe it was some kind of fate. I think those two were dating. So yeah, the news story continues, but doesn't provide a lot more kind of relevant information. But so the big things that stand out to you guys as people who are investigators are, in the last 2 weeks, 3 people have died. One of them was some kind of weird taped suicide, but then the other 2 were people who were dating one another.
And they never released the name of the suicide.
Right.
They did not, you said.
They did not. Since the other things were theoretically accidents, I think they were more like willing to do that. But while there's like some kind of weird investigation of why this video was out there, I think the name was like kind of withheld.
I'll turn to Mr. Blade and say, how's that dark web browser search going?
I've just hacked into the mainframe. Yeah, just need a few more minutes.
Is that it now?
Yeah, that's looks like the dark web right now is down for maintenance. So
When will it be back up?
well, they're doing routine server maintenance. So it'll be up. Looks like in look at that. 22 minutes and 30 seconds.
He like start like a stopwatch on his wristwatch. All right, good. Mr. Greene, do you know any of these students?
The camera pans around to where the other side of Darkblade's laptop, and he's just watching an episode of The Office. And he's gave you the exact runtime of the episode. You hear him like snickering every now and again.
Yeah, I assume I wouldn't know any of those people, right?
So you kind of implied before that you're not really taking classes.
Right.
So, ooh, you might just by like happenstance know some of these folks. But that's up to you. / we could maybe have some kind of role to help you out with that.
Like what role were you thinking?
Almost like essentially a charm roll to see if you knew those folks or have like a connection to them that you could easily kind of get a hold of some of those people or like have known them.
Okay, good at that.
Okay, so this is kind of just like more of a custom thing of like, oh, how connected are you to this stuff or tied into this? Are you?
So a 12.
You got a 12. Yeah, you definitely knew some of these people. Yeah, I think that girl Olive looks pretty familiar. And you're like, oh, I think I did have a class with her. And yeah, those two definitely were dating. They kind of ran as like you'd maybe gone to parties and seen them and some of their other friends together. They weren't people that like you really knew per se, but you knew that they kind of like hung out with a larger group of people. And I think I can, with that, essentially just give you the names of those people. You knew that Taylor Wright and Olive Alexander, which is a hilarious name, hung out with a girl named Lauren Walls, a guy named Cody Brinzo, and a girl named Bella White.
So which clique was this? Are these like the cool kids, the theater kids?
The anti-Semites.
They're skinheads. Yeah, they're all neo-Nazi skinheads. And it's weird that was one of the things that you noticed in the news footage of this poor person who dies. They had a huge swastika on their head. Truth be told, you might not know their last names. You might just know like, oh, Lauren, Cody, Bella. But yeah, Lauren Walls, Cody Brinzo, Bella White are the ones of that group that are alive.
I feel certain that there's like a teen horror movie we could like watch and like really get some insight into the situation.
The
Don't know which
slasher.
one.
Yeah, which one of them has a hook for a hand? Yeah, but so you definitely know those folks. To answer Carl's question of which clique they were, I don't want to say like miscellaneous or ragtag or diverse crew of people. I think that they...
Marching band.
I'm sorry, say again?
Marching band is...
Yeah. The one thing I will say, all of them are older. All of them are like seniors, maybe senior pluses. So like all of them are older. They're probably around Ashton's age because I think you said Ashton's like 21 or 22. So yeah, they're probably around that same age. So they're juniors or seniors at UWCF. And they're all kind of like fairly gregarious and like well-liked people. But from what you know, like they're kind of like this tight little like group of people that associate with one another. And while they might go to like a lot of parties and that kind of stuff, like that's kind of a core group of friends who, if you remember back to like when you started as a freshman, I think you remember some of them already hanging out and they've kind of stuck close together for a long while. Oh, these long 4 years that are university. So yeah, so you definitely get the names of those folks pretty easily, and could, and I'll say with the role that you have, like you know how you could track those people down fairly quickly if you wanted to talk to any of them. Of like, oh, I think this person works here, or I think this person lives in this dorm or at this apartment complex, or this person goes to this bar pretty regularly, and somebody there will know how to get a hold of them if I can't get a hold of them.
Oh, so I know the dark web is down right now, but is there a way I can check the like obituaries or something to see if any of those 3 theoretically surviving people were the suicide person?
I'll just say since you know who those people are, if one of them had died, you would have known that. Like as part of your 12, you know it's not them.
Okay. And they never hung out with anyone. Like there's no 6th person we're missing?
To your knowledge, like they had lots of casual acquaintances with other people and like definitely associated with other folks. But like their tight-knit group of people was one another. Lauren, Cody, Bella, Olive, and Tyler. I'm sorry, Taylor.
And a mysterious 6th person they all bullied once.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. And that one person they ran over on a misty mountain road that they thought was dead, but then when they went to look... So...
Jimmy Hookhands.
Yeah.
How did I forget about him?
It's me, everybody! I'm Robbie Raptorclaw. All right, so Darkblade, I know that you were messing with Mr. Welker when you told him that the dark web is down.
It should be almost up by now. It's been nearly 22 minutes.
Yeah. As Ashton was kind of recounting some of that information maybe to the rest of the table, you're like, oh yeah, this is the part of the Office episode where it kind of dips. The funniest part was in the beginning when Dwight was upset with Jim for his pranks.
Once the sexual tension of the will they, won't they get together is gone, it's all sort of rote.
Yeah.
Oh no, you've paused it at a point where you're like, oh, this is where my buddy's fan fiction kicks in at this point in this episode. So I want to keep this fresh, and I'll come back to it later. Yeah. So
fresh.
Yeah. So you have a move I know called Net Friends. Would you be interested in maybe utilizing your Net Friend abilities to access the web and maybe look some of this bad info up?
Yeah. And I rolled a perfect roll.
What did that bring us to?
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes, yeah. He didn't say what game.
What is it plus? Is it plus my sharp or cool?
This is why this
I got
move
a 12.
It's charm.
It's charm. Yeah, so I got a 12.
Got a 12. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, so Darkblade, you're able to hop on and contact somebody, and they're able to kind of show you this stuff. And first of all, you can find this video. It takes a little bit to find it, but you can find this video. I think like a buddy of yours online, Dragon Poacher 666.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so Dragon Poacher 666 is a guy that you talk to regularly. We'd say a person, but you know the deal with this character. So yeah, Dragon Poacher 666 can tell you pretty quickly that
he has a social security number, but he's definitely not 666 in the voluntary service.
Yeah.
He can't he can't get financial aid because he refuses to.
He ripped out his fillings, so they can't follow him.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dragon Poacher 666 can give you the heads up that, like 2 weeks and a few days ago, there was a student named Alan Graves who killed himself and posted a video to social media. And again, he can give you like the file. or no, he doesn't give you the file. He gives you a link that you can follow to it. And the university did a good job of taking the video down and getting the social media company to take the video down. However, it just recently reappeared a few days ago. And it is on the webpage of a girl, and that's where the link is. It is on the webpage of another UWCF student, Lauren Walls. And so it like is posted on her like profile, her social media profile.
Okay. It's weird she didn't take it down. It's very weird.
And she could theoretically get suspended for sharing that.
Yes.
Found out?
Yeah. And they're like on the thing are all these comments that are like, this is really messed up. How could you do this? I thought you were a better person than that, Lauren.
We've all been there, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And Darkblade says to himself.
Yeah. And I think there are responses
With
from
an
Lauren.
almond, with an almond dropping out of his mouth.
Yeah. He breathes in some powdered sugar and starts coughing a bunch all over the screen. But yeah, you can watch this video if you'd like.
I want to see it.
Okay.
All right.
So it's pretty grim, and it's a young man who's maybe in his like late teens or early 20s. He looks pretty like sickly and pallid. He kind of stares into a camera. He basically says like I'm alone, and like you're gonna know what it's like to be alone. And you see he essentially and it's again pretty grim that you can watch this. It is very graphic and very disturbing. He hangs himself and does it in such a way over like candles. So these kind of like long, he's almost wearing what looks like a robe, but not like a wizard's robe, but almost like a robe that like a person would just get at the store. And it seems kind of wet or like heavy and clingy to him. And as he like hangs himself and dangles over these candles, the candles catch the robe, and so he like is like lit on fire as well. And so you hear this, and then you hear this person obviously like struggling and gasping and dying. And I think the Pancake Depot waitress is like, honey, whatever you're watching, you're gonna have to turn that off. You're scaring other people in here, and honestly, I don't want to hear it either.
I'll like turn the laptop to Mr. Greene and be like, do you know this guy?
Do I?
Again, you got such a good roll on that last thing. I'm gonna say like, oh, I think that is someone I had seen in like the cafeteria, the dining hall at some point. But you didn't know the person's name, and you'd never seen them with anybody else. There was always this like there was this weird person, and you're like, I think that's that person.
Oh, like all 6 of these people were like in the same class with me or something in freshman year.
Yeah, sure. They were all in like the algebra 1.
So were they like cult robes or?
Again, the robe that Alan Graves was wearing looked, like I said, like a bathrobe.
And the candles weren't special at all?
The candles looked like pretty standard candles that you could get. The background of like the video seems kind of gross and dirty. It seems like a concrete wall that's kind of nasty. The floor seems like it's covered in maybe dirt.
Whose monogram was on the bathrobe?
Ah, good thing. I'm glad you asked. You see, it looks like WS, but it was flipped upside down. It's actually M. Yeah.
George
Right.
W.S. Bush.
That was it.
Do it.
So, but yeah, so that's the info that you guys can get, like just kind of chatting about this at the Pancake Depot. I kind of want to push you guys to go to another location or talk to an additional person, rather than just kind of keep looking stuff up online here in the Pancake Depot.
Well, let me say this then. Mr. Greene, if these were your friends and you were a part of this group of people for whom 2 of these poor young adults have died, what would you do?
Oh wow, I don't even know. I guess I would be real sad, but I wouldn't put these videos on websites or anything.
I agree. If I was to kill myself, I'd do it more privately as well. I feel that's a personal decision.
Darkblade, the link that Dragon Poacher 666 sent you was to Lauren Wall's like social media page.
Mhm.
If you look on her page for other stuff, since you did so well on that role, one of the other things, there are two other things that stand out to you. One, Lauren Walls has another post of another video, and it is the security camera footage of Taylor Wright falling off of his balcony. And there are similar posts on like under it that are like, how could you do this? You guys were really good friends. This is really bad.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't think she's posting this kind of stuff. This kid's either real sick or she's onto something.
I want to see the video of this guy falling off the balcony.
Sure. So this video doesn't have any sound. It's just security camera footage, and it's at night. It's Taylor. It's at night. It's all right. It's Taylor Wright. Taylor Wright comes home, and as he's kind of like getting his keys out, you see that he's kind of looking around a lot, and then you see he's kind of does this thing, and he kind of turns himself around, and he turns around again, and he starts moving in this weird way that doesn't quite make a ton of sense. And then he like kind of backs up and falls off of a balcony.
Does it look like anything was pushing him?
Nope, nothing. You can like as you're watching this, it's just him moving strangely and backing up. What is that noise? Backing up and then falling off of this balcony. So yeah, there's no one else in the footage. There's also no sound in the footage.
Well, as to my question earlier, then, Mr. Greene, if you were one of the friends of these two poor people, what would you do next?
Well, I feel like I would take those videos down. Seems weird that she's posting those. I wonder if Darkblade, is someone able to like hack them and like make her post them for them, or it seems weird that you would want to do that for your friend, right?
And in fact, in the comments, Lauren has posted like, "I'm not putting this here." Like she's posted other things under her own posts where people are saying like, "How could you do this? You're Taylor's friend," and she has responded like, "I'm not putting this up here. Something's gone wrong. I'm not posting this, and I like something's gone wrong. I can't get rid of it."
Mr. Blade has go on, Mr. Greene.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah,
Mr. Blade, has the dark web browser infiltrated this woman's computer?
Very possible that she doesn't know how to click delete on a Facebook post. All right, I think that's more likely than the internet putting these photos on there, or maybe Mark Zuckerberg did it. Maybe it was actually, that actually makes sense. Mark Zuckerberg is a sicko, and he does drink blood. Hold on a second.
Why do you think he would target her specifically?
Sounds like a good question for her. Why don't we just pick up the phone and ask? Just tell her that we're working on. I mean, these are her friends who died, right? So she cares about them. Just tell her that we're trying to solve these murders, and we know that they're all related.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Greene? You think one of you would be up to that kind of approach?
Oh yeah, sure. I think so.
Well, I mean, I could do it, but I'm pretty sure she'd smell the old man on me from a mile off. So maybe one of you who's up on the today's lingo would want to pen an introductory letter.
I do know basically all the lingo. I have it down. But yeah, I another question though. So that video on the balcony, is there enough there to see where that happened? Like what room that was in?
Oh, good question.
You know what? Yes. When you see that and you know the apartment complex, you're pretty sure if you were to find it, you could like figure it out pretty easily.
Yeah. So maybe one of us could go look there too.
Good idea, Mr. Greene. Well, I dare say I'm no slouch in the investigation department. I'd be happy to go there. Either of you have any preferences as far as what you want to do about this?
Well, there's one more little piece of information that I said I was going to give Darkblade. If you remember, I said there were two things. So one was that Taylor's death is also on Lauren's social media account or social media page. And I'm trying not to say Facebook, but that is what I'm talking about. Then the other thing is that Lauren Walls is friends on social media with Alan Graves, the student who killed himself.
What's Alan Graves' profile look like?
Do you go to check that out, Darkblade? All right, he types a bunch.
This is a light web search, so it'll definitely work.
Yeah.
He's got brown hair, slack-jawed, pretty blank stare in his eyes.
Does he have like a lot of like song lyrics posted,
his
esoteric posts about how things aren't going very well, that kind of thing?
Does he
So,
often?
Wait,
All right.
Darkblade, you didn't turn the screen on. You're just looking at your reflection. My God.
I'm so handsome, he says. So you're able to click on the to go to Alan's like stuff that's visible without being a friend of his. And one of the things that you're able to see is you're able to get two pieces of information from that really, really quickly. One, Alan has like a bunch of artwork up that's like mostly black and white, and it's all pretty dark and spooky. It's a lot of it's
Tim Burton.
I was gonna say Tim Burton / like not silly Johann Velasquez kind of stuff, but it's all like black and white. It seems to be mostly like ink and just like black pen drawings mostly.
Like those pictures in that old book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I think I know what you're talking about. That might be the case. And so it's pretty spooky, and it has a lot of like but some of the stuff is animated as you look at it. So like it's like walking through, it's just like a constant loop, a GIF or a GIF or whatever of like these like ink a GIF of ink penny. More a Peter Pan guy. But so of them like just going through a forest, like passing this stuff. So it was just this infinite loop of like moving through this forest that was like hand drawn. But a lot of the stuff is pretty darn spooky. So you see that. You can maybe look into that more closely later. The other big thing that you see is, and this is the thing that stands out to you, is Alan Graves has one friend.
Just the girl.
That's weird.
So theoretically, just Lauren. I don't know if you can click on it and see who his friends are, but yeah, if you can, or you can just deduce like, oh, it's her.
I've got more friends than this guy. Hey. Wait, Ashton. You haven't accepted my friend request that I sent you last week.
Oh yeah, I don't usually go in there. I was waiting.
All right, so where to next, boys?
All right, so Mr. Welker says, I'd be happy to check out the apartment complex, get the lay of the land, do some good old-fashioned forensic detective work. I feel like you two are more familiar with sort of like the cyber and college aspects of this. What would you like to do?
Well, I really think we should try reaching out via Vine or Snapchat, and if that doesn't work, we'll just knock on her door. But you kind of should come with us because we look like college kids, and she probably won't believe us if we're investigating it.
Well, if that's your call, then I'm prepared to follow your advice. What do you think, Mr. Greene?
You could show her all the photos of your kids in your wallet. She'll know you're a good guy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Blade. I appreciate that.
Even though you only have one, but that's still more than me.
I could give you a few, then you'd have photos as well of my kids.
Alrighty, so where are we going first?
Well, if we're gonna stick together,
let's go to the apartment complex. So let's have you guys go to the apartment complex. All right. So near UWCF, almost imagine if you remember where, for UCF, if you remember where like Northgate and Tivoli kind of places were, like super, super close. They're just like on the other side of a major road. It's the kind of thing where these folks could easily walk to campus. And these buildings are only 3 or 4 stories tall, and watching the video again, and eventually getting to watching the video again, you can figure out, I'm pretty sure it's this building. And looking close enough, you're like, I'm pretty sure it was on the 3rd floor of this building. And after you check one, you find the correct one on the first or second try. It's pretty easy for you to find this out. And you can get to the outside of this apartment. You can see where there is a security camera. It's got the little red blinky light. It's outside of room 3 whatever. So it's probably like 305B or something like that. So just to signify which building it's on, what floor it's on.
Okay.
But yeah, so you guys are up there hanging out.
We can get onto the 3rd floor, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think you need to like go into another thing. It's all like out in the open. And yeah, you can look down below to where this where like you saw this kid back up and fall over like end over end. And you see that, right down below, if you fell off of this, you would just land smack onto a concrete sidewalk down below.
3rd floor falls aren't really necessarily guaranteed death. Do we know how he landed? I guess not.
So, one of the interesting things, I think, just to kind of kick this into high gear, as you're looking down there, you see a person you see a person staring down at that exact area and looking up at exactly where you're standing, and that person is Detective Sloan Winters. I think when he sees you, he does like a...
This American Monster is a production of This American Dice. This American monster uses the Monster of the Week system, a game published by Evil Hat Productions and by Michael Sands. Sundry Charms is Leigh. Chase Welker is Carl. Darkblade 69 is Alex. Ashton Greene is David. And your game master is Austin Smith. Our theme song is by Patrick Ross. It's called Sinlude. Additional voices for this episode included Steve Arthur as Shane Meridew, and additional music included Hero by D. Yan Key.
I shoot him.
You're right. So you guys both engage in a heated exchange of gunfire. Each of you sweat dripping. The birds fly out from behind you as you dive forward with your two
There
pistols.
was a firefight!
Hi, Shane Meridew with the award-winning Channel 5 News. What do you mean we haven't won any awards? There had to be something. Damn. Amateurs. How to get out of this crazy business. Open up that hobby shop.